Because today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below the waistline grooming, baby. And we know not only is, St. Patrick's Day coming up and we trying to get lucky out there, but we also know March Madness is upon us as well, okay? So we don't want our balls bouncing around here all haphazardly looking crazy. Nah. We got to make sure that we grooming them things, keeping it low and slow and make it look nice and neat, okay? And the best way to do that is with the Lawnmower 4.0. As Deke and I've already told you, I never leave home without it, because you never know. You never know. But more importantly, what you need to do is this, man. Use the promo code MOATS so that way you can get you 20% off along with free shipping worldwide at manscaped.com, baby. And trust me when I tell you, your delicate twins will definitely thank you, my friend. But with that, man, let's go to this next topic because, like I said, it is right in line with this conversation, man. And that is the Deshaun Watson watch. So, where we left off on Friday, the big speculation was if he was going to be indicted for criminal charges by the grand jury. And we kind of drew that line in the sand. We said if he's indicted, then we don't want any parts of him. But if he is not, then yeah, it makes perfect sense to bring him in because we know what he means to a team and how he can help elevate that team and also draw in free agents as well. And literally, a couple hours once we finish the show, we get the information that the grand jury was not going to indict Deshaun Watson on criminal charges, which was great for him personally. But now, even more so from a league perspective, now we got to see teams really start to, heat up their interest in him. And it seems like every team is heating him up, except us right now. It's like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I said, man, I was remembering that even though I think it was, like I said, I saw the Saints and I think the Panthers have already had trade offers for Deshaun Watson.
He's going to meet with them soon, too.
Yeah. I was like, the one caveat is he has the no trade clause. So at the end of the day, it still is going to fall back on him deciding if he wants to go there or not versus him saying, you know what, I just want to go to Pittsburgh or anything along those lines. But as a whole, man, like I said, I just don't see why not. In terms of multiple first-round draft picks, I told you what I was willing to give up for him last episode. I do think that he is worth every bit of that because of what he's able to do from a throwing perspective and a mobility perspective as well. Last time he was playing in the league, he led the league in passing yards. We know, that this guy can do it all. We saw him firsthand when he came to Pittsburgh and played against us. Man, he was the biggest reason why the game was what it was. And for me, man, I keep saying to myself, man, you need a franchise quarterback. They don't grow on trees. It could take a very, very, very long time to find one of those guys. So when you have opportunity to get one, you usually go out there and acquire said guy. So I'm hoping that some point today, tomorrow, man, we get a little bit more information that, we at least have some type of interest or stronger interest in this dude, man. But, right now I was a little bit frustrated. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm not going to lie. But how you feel about the situation, man, now that he's officially been cleared from a criminal perspective?
That's the question. How much interest do we have? Because it seems pretty clear. I don't know how connected Sean King is to Deshaun Watson directly, but he keeps saying that Deshaun pretty much only wants to play for the Steelers. That's his preferred destination. Yeah. But we haven't really heard much from the Steelers standpoint of showing strong interest back. We've maybe heard just some interest, but a lot of the Steeler reporters are saying, no, a deal isn't happening. So when you combine all those elements together, it's like, okay, maybe we do have some type of interest, but are we even putting up serious offers? So with Deshaun's no trade clause, that really could be the X factor because that could at least give time for the Steelers organization to maybe even sit down and think about it a little bit more. It's like, bro, this guy really wants to come here. Yeah. Can we give up an extra pick or two? It doesn't have to be the best offer, but can it at least be competitive with the other ones so the Texans feel good about taking the trade? Because, I think you got to do it. You got to have this strong interest at least because with Russell Wilson and Rodgers, what was predicated on them and why I don't think we were as talkative about them to Pittsburgh is we didn't even know their interest in coming here. I mean, there were some reports coming out that Steelers have a place for Rodgers, but a deal in place for Rodgers, but we didn't even know if Rodgers was that interested because it seemed whenever you look back, Rodgers was probably staying in Green Bay the whole time. Probably some of this stuff was a bunch of
And if not Green Bay, it was going to be Denver because that was the other team that they really had him directly linked to And obviously that was because Nathaniel Hackett being the head coach over there now.
And with Russell Wilson, we didn't hear any interest in Pittsburgh. It was, what was it? The Commanders made a trade, but he wasn't even interested in them.
Right.
It's actually been kind of low key for Russ, but his initial teams were like Saints, Bears, and maybe the Giants.
Right.
And maybe that's changed. We haven't heard about them connected with Pittsburgh, whereas with Deshaun Watson, he is really interested in coming to Pittsburgh. And we're in need of a franchise quarterback. And his age is a lot better than Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
3 first-round picks to me seems like nothing for someone of Deshaun Watson's caliber. If you have to throw in a player, have to throw in an extra pick or something, I think you just do it.
Well, because
do it.
The thing that I thought of was this for the people that are all, hey, man, you don't give up first-round draft picks. Let's just go over the history of who we've drafted in the first round. How many guys we hit on and how many guys we've missed on. For every T.J. Watt, we've had an Artie Burns. For every Bud Dupree, we had a Jarvis Jones. For, every Jarvis, like we can go down this list of guys.
Well, and even with Bud Dupree, how long did it take him to
develop? Absolutely. And even now, seeing him away from the organization, how he kind of struggled last year. Now, granted, he was coming back from an injury, but that's a difference than when you're talking about what Deshaun Watson is currently. And that's kind of my thing with this when we're, for the people that are so hesitant about giving up draft picks. Even when we're talking about first-round draft pick quarterbacks over the past 10 years, it's been a lot of misses in there, okay? Like, when we think about that part of it, just understand that, hey, there is no guarantee that you're getting a true franchise quarterback, even if you take this guy, in the first round. Even if he was a top 5 pick. How many of those guys could we talk about? Daniel Jones types, right? Dwayne Haskins, a prime example. We can keep going down that list as well of guys that were drafted in the first round that we have mixed views on, or some guys that we don't even think are even good anymore or even going to get opportunities to play in the league anymore. Deshaun Watson is already proven. He's already shown that he can lead a franchise. He's already shown that he can take you to the postseason. That's the part for me why I don't really care about these draft picks like that, because this is a proven commodity. And there is no guarantee whether it's this year's draft or next year's draft that you're going to get that caliber of a player. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence right now, we're still trying to figure out, okay, first year was rough. What is it going to look like in year 2? We still got our questions about Tua Tagovailoa. Think about him. And he was another one of those high caliber prospects as well coming out. But you can see even with him how we're kind of like, man, I don't know just yet. Look kind of iffy with him.
Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall pick. Sam Darnold went 3 overall.
Absolutely.
Even last year's class, the one that was supposed to be the best class in how many years, 4 of the 5 are looking kind of shaky. Mac Jones looks like the best quarterback just based off last year. I wouldn't take him over Lawrence going forward because I'm just going to project that Lawrence is going to do better. But still, none of them really panned out last year that how we thought. We thought they were going to be like instant success.
Absolutely, man. So that's my thing. It's like, you want to take that chance for the sake of draft picks versus a guy that's already proven, a guy that already has a direct interest to wanting to come to your team. And he is young. Like, this is a guy you're going to have for 10 plus years, legitimately. That's my issue, man. That's the thing where I'm just like, what are we, like, why haven't we, heated that up a little bit? And if, we're working in this, super spy-like, vibe as it pertains to showing our interest, then cool. But yeah, I'm like, I don't see the need to be as secretive with this. Like, the no trade clause makes it different. Like I said, if it was Deshaun could go anywhere and the Texans controlled it and they want the highest bidder, then sure, you might want to be a little bit low key so teams don't jack up the asking price. But when this guy has already communicated that, hey, I want to go here. This is the only, like, I have this control in where I'm able and where I'm going to go as well. It's just like, man, you don't have to hide that. You go ahead and pick up that phone, man. You make that deal, because to me, 3 first-round draft picks versus a Deshaun Watson, I'm doing that and not even thinking twice about it. Especially now that these criminal charges are dropped. Like, come on now, man.
Exactly. Russ went for the 2 firsts, the 2 seconds, and a couple players. So if we're saying 3 firsts for Deshaun Watson, maybe a player in there.
Yeah.
It's like a no-brainer to me. It really is, because I was talking to you on the phone yesterday. If you even just break it down a little bit more and compare Deshaun Watson to rookie quarterbacks coming out, Deshaun Watson would be the number 1 overall pick this year against everyone else in this draft.
The next 2 years, the next 3 years. Let's be real.
So hold on. Let's just say you're using one of those draft picks that you're trading for Deshaun Watson. And that's already greater value than the pick that you're at right now at 20. You would have to trade up probably you would have to trade up 2 first-round picks to get to that number 1 overall anyway. So that's your 3 first-round picks right there. But you're taking Deshaun Watson, who's been a stud in the NFL, compared to someone that's unproven. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Same thing I've been saying, dude. Same thing I've been saying. But what I'm hoping is, as today opens up and they progress a little bit further through in terms of the Steelers, in terms of re-signing some of the guys they want in-house, that we will start to hear some more news about, whether or not we're going to be a major player with this Deshaun Watson situation. I will say if they don't, I think they'll be making a mistake personally. But I understand that, hey, man, Kevin Colbert has his track record, and it's all well and good. But y'all know how I feel about the track record. When you've had 7 for that long, it does help out a ton. A ton. I'm not that's the reality of it. When you got that franchise quarterback, that gives you that ability to do these type of things that Kevin Colbert has done. Right now, they do not have that guy. That's all, man. And I do think there is a big difference when you do not have that franchise quarterback in place in terms of the patience that you can operate with while building up your team.
Yeah. If it's just the picks, I think there could be some talking convincing that could go on behind the scenes. Yeah. But if it's just the organization, is it Rooney that we're just not interested in Watson because of maybe some of the past off-field stuff, even though he was cleared, we don't want maybe some of the media or some of the stuff going on off the field in terms of, I guess you just know how the news is, the media is, and they be bringing that stuff up. We don't want that surrounding the franchise. But, I don't know. If it's right.
It's
not
like
he's
this
cleared.
our first go
he's
around.
Legally cleared.
Right.
But
and how many times have we seen Mr. Rooney stand by guys or even give guys second chances that weren't even with this organization who did get brought up on criminal charges? I mean, we've seen how Mr. Rooney operates. And for the reasons as a player that we respect him and really love him is because he does march to the beat of his own drum. He doesn't allow the media or fan noise to dictate, who he wants to bring in or who he does not want to bring in. And that's the thing that we always love and respect about him, that we felt like he gives us a fair chance, And when I look at Deshaun's situation, I'm like, what makes this situation any different than the previous other transgressions that we've had to deal with here in Pittsburgh, where Mr. Rooney did sign off on it, whether it was keeping a guy or even bringing guys in that had issues. I just don't see how this is any different than those scenarios, especially now that the criminal charges were not brought up for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So if we look at past history with the organization, if we're able to overlook some of that stuff and, like you said, march to the beat of our own drum, then is it just the picks? Is it just the picks?
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out,
we could do some convincing there.
Seriously, man. You about to make me pick up the phone?
Because those are the only 2 reasons. Those would be the only 2 reasons, right? If you look back and say this is why the Steelers wouldn't be interested. Those are the only 2 reasons. If we could say the one is like, right. If we could say the one is, man, maybe I don't think that's it. I think Rooney would maybe make the deal, or the organization would be comfortable in making this. Then it's just the assets that we'd be giving up. Yeah. Maybe we're more tied to those than maybe we would think. But like I said, maybe it just takes some convincing on whoever wants Watson within that organization. We got to talk to some people here. Like these picks don't matter as much. We got to get a franchise guy. So we'll see. Yeah. X factor, no trade clause. Because maybe as time goes on, I think more and more it could be beneficial for the Steelers.
Yeah, I would agree, man. The no trade clause is definitely the X factor, though, man.